Hello, and welcome to week 2 of NorthPoint Thrives. Time for a reset. What are bottom-up strategies to regulate and how to use them? As a reminder, the goal for NorthPoint Thrives is to provide useful information and strategies to promote staff resilience during the COVID-19 pandemic. We do this through the promotion of staff utilization of resiliency blocks or personal strength strategies at the right frequency and the right amount for what their current life circumstances are calling for. And so we have 3 questions. What helps you to regulate and perform better? How often do you need to use these resources? And how much of these resources do you need? Recognizing that this is an ever-changing process that is quite dependent on what you're experiencing in your life at any given time. Today's topic is time for a reset. What are bottom-up strategies to regulate and how to use them? Let's begin with a review of the color-coded brain model of activation. You may recognize this from the initial trauma-informed care training or from the trauma-informed service delivery e-learning. The color-coded brain model helps us to understand our body's response to stress, and particularly when that stress reaches toxic levels or we're faced with immediate danger. As you'll recall, being in the green means being in a state of coherence, being mindfully aware. In this state, our body is relaxed, our breathing is calm, and our brain is functioning optimally for listening, speaking, and problem solving. As stress and tension build, we may find ourselves more alert, more on guard, and our body would be experiencing slight increases in tension, yet our breathing would remain steady, and we're still able to properly reason through the situation at hand. This would be the yellow. Should that tension and stress develop and build and start to become in the orange, we notice our body has significant tension, breathing becomes more labored, and our thoughts become more cloudy. We have a heightened potential to act impulsively and speak without properly thinking the situation through. Now, should we encounter true danger or levels of toxic stress, we could end up in the red, a state of fight, flight, or freeze. In this state, our body is in high alert and the fight or flight response has been activated. The body is tense, heart rate is significantly elevated, and breathing is rapid, yet oxygen levels within our body are reduced. Our brain is concerned with survival. Our listening, speaking, and problem-solving skills are all impaired. Now, of course, if we are in true danger, we want our body to respond in the red to protect us and ensure our safety. However, if indeed we end up in the red because of toxic stress, at this time we want to employ some strategies to better regulate and move to states of yellow and green to better address the situation at hand. In further considering regulation strategies, we can group regulation strategies into either top-down or bottom-up strategies. Top-down strategies are those that utilize our highest levels of thinking in order to weigh pros and cons, consider alternative explanations for what we're experiencing, as well as recognizing the connections between our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Now, these strategies are incredibly effective if indeed we are in the green or yellow brain. However, if we are in a state of panic or fight, flight, or freeze, these cortical functions are not accessible to us, and thus top-down strategies are not an effective route to create regulation within our body. Rather, we want to look at bottom-up strategies. Notice in the visual off to the right side of this slide, we see the heart sending messages to the brain. In the first, the heart sending incoherent messages, which further activates red brain, or on the right side, the green heart sending coherent signals or patterns to the brain, which create greater coherence or regulation. Now, this is considered a bottom-up strategy because we can utilize our breathing to directly influence our heart, which can then directly influence our brain. And we don't have to think about this. We just have to engage in rhythmic patterned breathing, which is known to influence the performance of the heart and allow the heart to inform the brain for us, thus taking thinking out of the process and just needing to engage the behavior to establish regulation. Let's practice a heart-focused, bottom-up regulation activity now. Notice in the photo the central location of your heart and the chest cavity, surrounded by your lungs. Remember, there's a special relationship between your lungs, your heart, and your brain. If you would, go ahead and place a hand over your chest. Take a breath in, noticing your chest rising, and breathe out, noticing your chest collapsing. Recognizing that when you breathe in, your lungs fill with oxygen, placing pressure on your heart. As you breathe out, your lungs deflate and reduce the pressure on the heart. This process, by breathing in and placing pressure on your heart and breathing out and relaxing that pressure, has a direct impact on your heart functioning. In fact, your heart then subsequently sends messages to your brain. Now, if you hold your breath and it places pressure on your heart for extended periods of time, it will send erratic messages to your brain, landing you in a fight, flight, or freeze red-brained position. However, when you exhale fully, releasing that pressure, your heart sends messages to your brain, letting you know that you're okay. The beauty of this is that you only need to engage in this rhythmic pattern to experience the benefits. It's not high in cortical functioning. It's not in-depth thinking. It's not using the smartest part of your brain. It's using the mechanisms of your body to create regulation. Let's practice together. Let's breathe in for 5 seconds and breathe out for 5 seconds. Place your hand on your chest, focus your attention in the heart area, and breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and smoothly exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in for 5 seconds and breathing out for 5 seconds is the optimal number of seconds in and out to create coherent patterns that your heart sends to your brain and helps your body and your mind to regulate, turning on your highest cortical functions so that you can meet the demands of the challenges you're facing. As your breathing returns to a normal pace, breathing in and breathing out, feeling calm and collected, I'd like to highlight that bottom-up strategies for regulation are behaviors that are repetitive, patterned, and rhythmic. That these repetitive, patterned, and rhythmic behaviors can move your brain from the red brain into higher levels of thinking. In addition to breathing, you might consider walking, running, dancing, swinging, hopscotch, rocking, humming, singing, or jumping rope as some additional strategies to engage when you're feeling overwhelmed and in the red brain. We would now like to focus your attention into what's coming up next. In week 3, we're going to move into making the shift, gratitude in action, which will build on heart-focused breathing strategies and looking at some of the science of gratitude and helping you regulate and create peace and calm and regenerating feelings in your body, followed by weeks 4 through 12. In closing, the NorthPoint Thrives development team would like to thank you for your participation in today's topic. We hope that you'll join us next week, and with that, be well.